Hello everyone, I'm Star here and welcome back to some more Fatal 12. Last time we left off, we confessed everything to Naomi. So, she says she will help us with this divine selection. Let's see.
私だって他の人を脱落させて生きることが正しいかどうかは分かりません。でも先輩が死んじゃうなんて絶対に嫌なんです。だからもし他の人を脱落させることが罪だとするなら、それを背負うのが怖いなら。ナオミ、
Sorry.
どうしてそこまで言ってくれるの？
I cut it off. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Why would she go this far for my sake?
本来の運命で先輩は自分の命よりも私を優先してくれた。口で軽々しく言えないだけで先輩はきっとそういう人なんです。凛花先輩だから。他に理由は思いつきません。あれ、おかしいな。どうして涙が。これは違うんです。
She turns her gaze towards the sky, desperately trying to fight back the tears that are ready to fall at any moment. It's a weird time to have a thought like this, but I can't help but consider just how vast the sky truly is. Naomi has nothing but praise for the coffee I make. She made me realize that I am avoiding reality. That and a number of important things.
危ないことはしないでね。
The tears have started to stream down her face by the time I say that.
私はこの期間、船底からの脱落以外で死んじゃうことはないらしいけど、ナオミは違う。だから危険なことはなし。
Unable to get the words out, she bites her lower lip and nods her head.
その上で私からお願いさせて。女神の選定で私が脱落しないように協力してください。
先輩、なんで敬語なんですか？
I extend my right hand to her, which she takes. Her nervousness melts away with the beaming smile she gives me afterwards. Her tear-stained cheeks serve as a nice contrast to that.
泣き虫だね、ナオミは。
先輩もこういう時は泣いていいんですよ。
からかわないでよ、もう。
Her tears don't stop flowing, even though she's all smiles. Just then, the announcement comes that it's almost time for the park to close for the day. I take the opportunity to tell Naomi that I'll see her tomorrow, and then I make my way home. When I get back, I open up Lionhouse for a bit. After messaging Naomi during break time, I decided to keep the store closed tomorrow so we can focus on gathering intel and organizing our thoughts. Wow, I can't English right now. I figured hitting up the library would be a good idea since we have access to newspaper and the like, but considering I still don't know where to start, I decided it's best for us to meet up there first. We don't need to worry about keeping quiet there, at least. Also, make sure to ask Naomi not to tell anyone else about this. Part of me considers telling Mao at first, since we're close friends, but considering she's known Miharu for far longer than Naomi, I decided it's best not to. It's be far too much for a burden for her to bear, and for the last thing I want is to ruin the relationship the three of us have right now. Thinking back on everything that's happened so far, I get ready to close shop for the day. Barely any customers have come around, so I only have to clean up a few things. I clean up those things, carry in the signboard and some plants from outside, and put out the trash. The door looks a bit dirty too, so I make sure to wipe it down. While I'm wiping it, I hear footsteps heading my way. I don't pay that much mind, considering it's not rare for people to pass by at this time at night, but they stop right in front of the store. Oh.
もう閉店で。
Thinking it's the customer, I turn around to inform them that we're closed. But I stop mid-sentence when I see the woman to whom the footsteps belong. The moment I stand up straight, she grabs me by the shoulder, pushes me against the door, and then into the store.
あなたが姉妹凛花さんね。
Who are you? Her words come out loud and rapid. Her voice sounds like her throat is ready to explode. Our first impression to make her seem desperate, but I say she's more anxious than anything else. That's why she's shouting. That's why her shouting actually helps me to approach the situation with heightened composure.
あなた、8の人ですね。
Oh. Rather than answering her question, I opt to shoot one right back at her. I don't know her name, but I recognize the face. She's one of the people I've seen in the real world. Composed as I may seem, it's not enough to keep my nerves calm. I can feel myself working up a cold sweat. Even the most minor thing here could act as a hint for her, so I need to watch what I say. She slams her hand against the door, closing the distance between us even more. And yet I'm not afraid. Mainly because I keep in mind why she's so anxious in the first place. The only reason she's asking me is because she's not entirely sure that I am who she thinks I am. Meanwhile, numero X11 gained her name card from the woman he eliminated during the first round, if memory serves.
答えなさいよ。私はあなたのカードを持っているの。だからあなたが姉妹凛花だってことは知ってるのよ。
I would have said, wrong. I don't doubt that I'd be panicking if this was numero X1 or X11 X1. But it's the same threat I feel from competing with people like them that allows me to remain calm here now. Compared to them, she looks like your average woman, slender and pretty, although you can tell she looks overtired. There's no doubt she's been getting a little sleep. She's wearing what I believe to be a shawl atop a hospital gown.
ねえ、あなたの死因は何？未来は何？
My sentence makes her all more agitated.
自殺？病気？進学？恋愛？何よ！ちょっと落ち着いてください。
My patience starts to wear thin, which causes me to place my hand on her shoulders and shove her away from me. I must have pushed her a bit too hard since she stumbled backwards. She falls and lands on the hard concrete.
ごめんなさい。
I apologized without thinking. Showing sympathy to other participants and my enemies, in other words, probably isn't the best idea.
大丈夫ですか？
I asked but received no answer. All she does is stare down at the ground and mutter something to herself.
私が。
Following that, she collapses under her own weight.
大丈夫ですか？救急車。大丈夫だから。救急車いや帰れますから。いやだって明らかに大丈夫じゃないですし。救急車は。
Her sentence trails off there. Judging by her steady breathing, she seems to have fallen asleep as opposed to pass out. I spot the name of the hospital she was admitted to written on the hem of her gown. It's only a 10-minute walk from here.
ああ、もう仕方ないか。
She doesn't want to get in an ambulance for whatever reason, but I just can't leave her here. Fortunately, she's rather light, so I opt to give her a piggyback ride.
思ったより
We're gonna find out her name. After I locked up the store, I proceed to the hospital. We're gonna find out her name and that she's sick. When I arrive, the nurse I speak to shows me with showers. It's hardly surprising. I think most people would praise a high schooler who has obviously exhausted herself by carrying a patient all the way to the hospital in the middle of the night. The nurses waste no time in taking her away, so I guess she really is the patient here. Thanks to this, I managed to learn her name as well. Kambebuchi Keiko. While she's always had a fair disposition, things have gotten worse for her once she gave birth. I don't pry any deeper, but I doubt they would have told me much more. The only reason they told me as much as they need was to make sure I knew who it was that I helped out in the first place.
そういえばカードって。
Parker mentioned that we obtain new cards whenever we discover vital pieces of information in the real world.
そっか、本。
Chances are I didn't get one because I don't have it with me. I'm aware of its importance, but I tend to leave it behind since it's heavy. Either way, I should leave, considering visiting hours have long passed. Curious as I am about Keiko, I make my way back home. Once I return to my room and get ready for bed, I take a seat at the table on which my book rests.
なんか光ってるんだけど。
It's glowing. Little bits of lights are pouring out from between the book pages. Needless to say, this is the first time I've seen this happen in the real world, no less. I take a moment to prepare myself, and then I open it up. The moment I do, the light begins to rise above the book itself.
ちょっと
All I can do is watch as it eventually congregates to one spot almost 2 feet above my table. It eventually molds itself into a rectangular shape, well, to be more specific, it's the shape of a card. Once the transformation is complete, the light dissipates. The card floats in midair for a brief moment before it quietly lays itself to rest on top of the book.
こうやって作られるんだカード。
I can't hide my surprise over witnessing something like that happening in the real world. Something similar happened in the dream world, but it's a whole different experience when it happens in your own. I pick up the newly formed card. It's exactly the same as the others I have in terms of shape and make. The only difference is the contact written on it. Yeah, see? Keiko's name card. That's all though. I don't know the cause of her death or regret.
でも出産してから入院したって言ってたよね。だったら
It has to be related to that. First element that comes to mind is from childhood is my head starts to hurt all of a sudden. It doesn't take long for me to realize why either. It's because I just remembered how desperate Keiko looked. The way she was acting earlier proved that her regret ran deeper than I could comprehend. What I'm doing right now is aching to walk in all over that. The more I try to imagine the circumstances of her death, the worse the pound in my head becomes. That's when I remember Naomi's proposition to shoulder the burden along with me. I'm not prepared to handle this alone quite yet. Today's done a good job of showing me just how weak I am. Rather than thinking about this anymore, I turn my light off and choose to sleep instead.
Oh, 3タン。
あ、マオ、おはよう。
I noticed Miharu getting ready for classes as usual. When I arrive at school, seeing her reminds me of the realization I came to yesterday, which prompts me to say something odd to Mao.
ミハルってさ、強いよね。
ミハルンが逆だよ、きっ
Her voice and tone are lower than usual.
と。んじゃ、今日も一日頑張りましょう。
She returns to her usual self right away, almost as if to avoid continuing with that topic. Once school has ended, I meet with Naomi before heading over to the library on our way back to Lion House. Fortunately, the library is only 5 minutes from Lion House and on the very same path I took to get to the hospital last night. I make sure to fill her in on what happened last night as we make her way there. Her first reaction is to express her concern about me. She crinkles her nerves when I mention that Keiko seemed to have been rougher go of life than I have, but then sighs in relief afterwards. Once to the library, we gather up some books regarding pregnancy. Part of me doesn't want to at first, but we'll be painting a rather dubious image of ourselves, and again, this isn't the first time to be worried about that. Oh, that's bad, because they go look at the book for pregnancy, they think that the people there think they're pregnant. Ha! Haven't gotten what we need. We next make our way back to the Lion House and spread the books out one at the table.
じゃあこの本でまずは死因になりそうな病気や症例がないかを調べてみましょう。
She announced the plan with seemingly little issue. I can tell she's forcing herself to act composed. Normal people like us shouldn't have any reason to investigate someone's death like this. It doesn't help that it feels like we're digging into someone's prior life without consent. That's one of the reasons behind my headache last night. Not to mention that in this case it's about someone who's still alive. Well, she's not really alive. She's actually dead, you know. But okay, whatever. I pick up one of the books closest to me. More thinner than the card book, it's still packed full of text. Probably shouldn't try my hand at a book like this when I know absolutely nothing about medicine. Thinking that, I pick up another one only to reach the same conclusion. The only stuff I read other than manga other than manga are novels, so ideally there'd be something a bit simpler among all of these. As I think this over, it leads to me repeating the same scenario over and over in my mind.
先輩
Mm-hmm.
え、どうしたの？
もしかして本苦手ですか？
She's using the book in her hands to obscure her face from below the eyes, which are glued to me.
苦手ってわけじゃないんだけど、難しくない？
そう思ってたら言ってくださいよ。もう少し簡単な本もありそうでしたから、そっちも借りてきたのに。
That makes it pretty clear that I left Naomi in charge of picking out which books to get. I figured that it'd be best considering she's a bit of a bookworm.
先輩ってやっぱり勉強は苦手です？
Nope, I am not. I nodded my head after a brief hesitation. I wouldn't say I'm bad at studying, but there's no point in putting up a front, especially when my grades tell a different story.
でも頑張ってみる。自分のことだもんね。
I pick up another book and pursue the table of contents. Naomi hides part of her face behind her book again, but I can see how focused her eyes are on its contents. Two hours later, I feel my concentration vanish into thin air.
ちょっと休憩しよっか。
You need some coffee.
ナオミさん？
何ですか？
すごい集中力だね。ちょっと休憩しよっか。
はい、そうですね。
She closes the book after I make my offer. I guess she's finished reading that one too. Dang. Which makes for a total of 3 so far. Oh god. Oh wow, she's read 3 books already and I haven't read my first one. I feel bad. The difference in reading speeds between someone who reads often and someone who doesn't is rather striking. I brew up some coffee for the both of us and bring it over to the table.
ありがとうございます。そういえば久しぶりな気がします。先輩のコーヒー。
あ、そうかもね。
I spent so much time teaching her how to make coffee that I actually haven't had much opportunity to make some for her myself. It's always nice watching Naomi drink the coffee I make, considering how much she seems to enjoy it.
それでさ、何か分かったことある？
I have picked up on something myself in truth, but asking for Naomi's input first seems like the best idea.
はい。まず分かったのは、妊婦さんの出産時の死亡率はすごく低いってことですね。
The book I've been reading says the same thing. Based on a study from 2014, only 3 out of 100,000 mothers died while giving birth. I assume Keiko is in her 20s or 30s. Even if it's the latter, there's only a 0.003% chance of it happening to her. For comparison's sake, a person's much more likely to be involved in some fatal traffic accident than that. This stuff actually caught my attention while reading because it'll be relevant to me at some point in my future. Seems like Naomi read about the same study. Do you think we're reversing test materials together or something?
でも、それだけ例が少ないなら、原因の予想がつきやすいんじゃないのかな。
私もそう思います。ただ気になっているのは、どこまで詳細な情報がカード化するのに必要なのかなってことです。
私が持っている死因のカードに書かれているのが 少子ってだけだから、きっとそれくらいのざっくりさでいいんだと思う。
なるほ
So
ど。
childbirth. Cause of
で
death,
も
childbirth.
先輩の
Regret
話だ
not being there for the
と概念
child.
が実存になるって言ってましたよね。
うん。私もよく意味が分かってないんだけどさ。
だとすれば情報がカードになるというのは先輩がちゃんと概念として情報を持っていないといけないと思うんです。
Now the conversation is getting a bit complicated. I take a moment to mentally sort out all the info. The process behind making new cards involves giving information, thoughts, rather, a tangible form. Parker explained that much herself. How does one distinguish which piece of information is correct that turned into a card then?
すみません、分かりにくい言い方になっちゃいました。先輩の中で論理的に行き着いた結論なのかって意味です。つまり先輩が日常会話の中で何気なく言ったことでも誰かの死因や未練に該当していたらカードになるのか、それとも例えばこの人はいつ症状が悪化したから死因はこれだろうって証拠みたいなものを先輩が把握していないといけないのかってことです。
そっか、なるほどね。
I cast my mind back to these past 2 weeks. I'm not the most chatty person, but I've definitely had a good number of conversations during that time. Chances are good that I've discussed things related to relevant information. So by that logic, I should have some extra cards already. And yet yesterday was the first time I obtained a new card. In fact, in that case, it's probably the latter scenario that is required in order to make new cards.
やっぱりそうですよね。極端な話ですけれど、辞書を最初から最後まで読めば大体の人は死因も未練も手に入れられることになっちゃいますもんね。
あんまりやりたくないけどね。
命がかかっているならやるかもしれません。
That starts to remind me about how desperate Kicker looked. I could tell she had a specific force driving her. Knowing that chances are high that she read through all kinds of stuff if it meant possibly obtaining more cards.
それに先輩の死因のカードが作られないのも同じ原因かもしれません。先輩の曖昧な記憶や私のぼんやりした夢の他にもっと何かが。
So in the end, it's all up to me remembering the exact details of what happened that day. I can't see myself doing that, that today at least. The fact that it's yet to come back to me properly means I need something specific to trigger my memories. I pushed those thoughts away and Naomi back to the topic at hand.
そうですね。私の意見ですけれど、一般的な失血死というのが妊婦さんの亀渕さんの死因である可能性が高いと思います。
でもそれじゃあ足りないんだね。どうしてそうなのか、理由や筋道を私がちゃんと理解していないといけない。
The lack of any new cards materializing proves that.
ここで調べてるだけだと足りなそうですね。
私がお見舞いに行ったら、まあ拒否されちゃうよね。
I'm well aware of how much my hair causes me to stand out.
あ、
どうしました？
休憩するって言ってたけど、彼じゃ休憩にならないね。でもさ、ナオミ、頼りになるね。
それならよかったです。
I say that, but I can tell she's pushing herself pretty hard. It's clear from the way she's speaking that she's more nervous than usual. Same goes for me as well. There's no way we could have a happy chat about someone's possible cause of death. However, I'm not getting a headache like when I tried to do this on my own. Her being here to show the part of the burden really does make things easier to bear. Now the issue is how we're gonna go about digging deeper.
私、お菓子持ってきたんでした。 今日は手作りじゃないですけど。
Saying that, she produces some chocolate which I happily partake of. The sweet sensation that spreads throughout my body is almost enough to make me shiver with joy.
糖分がしみるね。
Oh yes, Rika, I understand. Chocolate is so good.
脳の栄養は糖分って言いますもんね。私が勉強してるとお母さんがよく。あ、
どうしたの？
単純なことでした。私が恵子さんの家族に会えばいいんです。
ナオミが？それって危ないことじゃない？
はい。でも私が会いに行く分には、本人ならともかく家族ならなんとかごまかせるかもしれません。先輩が恵子さんを病院に運んだ件があるので、念のため制服は着ないで行きます。
でもさ、口止めとかされてるんじゃないの？
夢の世界の話って大人がそのまま大人に話せはしないと思うんです。オブラートに包んだ言い方をしてる。だから
She has a point. I had no issue telling her everything, but there's no way I told one of her teachers, for example. I'd probably be fine with telling my grand, but definitely not my parents if they were around. That goes double if I were Keiko's age.
危ないことはしません。だから私にやらせてください。
ナオミ、そういう演技できる？
それを言われると。
She once again tucks her face behind a book and then props part of it back out to speak to me after a moment.
でも頑張ります。先輩のためですもん。
ほんと頼もしいね、ナオミは。
問題はいつ行くかですけど、やっぱり土日がいいかなって思います。
どうして？
平日だと家族の人が来るのって夜になると思うんです。遅くなるなら来られないかも。でも土日なら少なくとも旦那さん、お父さんは来ると思うんです。早い方がいいと思うので土曜日に行きます。
わかった。ただ私もついていく。何かあった時に大声を出せば駆けつけられるとこで待ってるから。
She nods her head in response, understanding that I won't back down. We tried to discuss other possibilities regarding her death after that, but it basically turns into a study session about pregnancy. After walking Naomi to the train station, I make my way back to the Linehouse. I have to admit, I am surprised by just how fruitful our efforts today have been. It goes to show how little I've been thinking about divine selection before talking to Naomi about it. It's got into me questioning my own life. I still can't say for sure whether or not it's right for me to want to survive. However, I can say with certainty that I don't want to leave my friends and family upset over my death. That's enough motivation for now. I'm sure Keiko has the same resolve pushing her forward. In fact, hers is probably stronger, considering she has a child. I was told I lost my parents in an accident almost immediately after I was born, so I'm not too sure what it's like to experience the warmth and love parents can provide. The only thing I have to go on is when my gran spoke to me about my mom. Her expression showed an entirely different kind of love from what she holds for her granddaughter.
考えちゃダメだ。
The more I consider Keiko and her situation, the more empathy I feel for her, which makes me think of her even more. What should I be doing right now is casting my emotions aside and gathering as much info on her as possible. Even Naomi is pushing herself to do what she can for my sake. The last thing I want to do is let that go to waste.
今すべきこと。
Should be to get some rest. Thus, I crawl into bed and close my eyes. After school, Naomi and I come back to the Lion House together. Keiko never has approached me again after that one night.
恵子さんも私に名前を知られてるって気がついてるはずだもんね。
And tomorrow's Sunday,
Hi.
selection day.
亀渕さんも部活に近づくのはリスクが高いってことだと思います。
じゃあ行こう。
After ensuring that my book is in my bag, I guide Naomi to the hospital. By the time we reached the lounge, I realized that I never did ask Naomi how she plans on approaching Keiko's family. Even without me there, it doesn't change the fact that she's just a random high schooler to them. I highly doubt they'd be willing to share private information with a stranger like that. Fortunately, the lounge is on the same floor as Keiko's room, so I'll be able to hear Naomi scream should anything go wrong while I wait. She isn't quite as clumsy and shy in front of me anymore, but this is Naomi we're talking about. I can't help but worry about her. I know that she said she'd do her best for my sake, so I trust her. After some time, a man in his late 30s passes by me. I assume it's Keiko's husband and try to avoid eye contact. I move my gaze to look outside the window, waiting for his footsteps to fade.
先輩？
びっくりした。
Being approached from behind like that causes me to yelp, but no one seems to pay me much mind. Naomi's voice sounds somewhat gloomy.
おかえり。それでどうだった？
緊張しました。でも分かった情報はどちらかというと外堀を埋めるようなものに近いです。
確信には触れなかったってこと？
はい。亀渕さんはもともと体が弱くて病気がちだったそうですが、持病は持っていなかったみたいです。ただ切迫早産の状態が続いていて、最終的には緊急帝王切開で早産だったとのことです。子供も入院が必要な状態らしくて、親子で3週間近く入院しているみたいです。
That overlaps with the timing of divine selection. The books we were reading yesterday mentioned preterm labor and premature birth. Premature birth is when the baby is born before the expected date, and preterm labor is when you enter the first stage of labor earlier than you should. The mother suffers from constant pain and bleeding during this, so she has to be kept as idle and relaxed as possible. I guess things took a turn for the worse, which led her need a C-section.
そういえばさ、どうしてそこまで教えてくれたの？
嘘ついちゃいました。
Her tone is more hushed than usual. It's probably why she seemed a bit gloomy afterward.
友達が入院していて、お見舞いに来るといつも恵子さんが言った。心配していたけど失礼かもしれないから本人に詳しくは聞けなかったんですって。
あ、
その流れでさっきのことを聞きました。
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna leave it off here. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, give the video a thumbs up. If you're not, you're just not enjoying it. I don't know why you can't enjoy it. I mean, you got cute girls and about death and trying to save yourself. Yeah. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye bye.